Hello and welcome to the Waffle Flower channel. It's Shannon here, and today I'm going to be showing you how to make a Andy Warhol pop art inspired card. I'm going to be using this Purse-nality Stamp Set. It's super cute. It's all purse themed. I'm going to start with that outline purse stamp I just pointed to. I'm going to put it in the lower corner of my Misty, mounted in there. I'm working with a square panel. This is 5 by 5, and I've got the center point marked. And it's divided now into 4 sections. You can do this also on a rectangle panel if you'd like. You just find the center point on both sides, the horizontal and vertical side, and draw a line through with a ruler and a pencil to your other side. And then you'll have your panel divided up, your rectangle panel divided up into 4 sections as well. Okay, so I'm just stamping. I'm going to stamp this purse outline stamp into once in each of my sections. I am angling my purse, so you don't have to angle your stamp. I just like the way that looked in that square space. And I am using Waffle Flower inks today. I'm going to end up using a total of 8 of them. You just want to use inks that are really nice and bright. To achieve that pop art look, you want to stick with kind of bright colors. Alright, and now I'm going to move it up to the upper right corner here and just angle it again, and then I'll ink that up and stamp this. And I'll have one more section to do after this. Excuse me. Now, I first learned of this pop art technique from Lexi Daly, and I just fell in love with it. I just thought it was so cool. I love how bright and colorful and clean and simple it looks. So I knew immediately after I watched her video, last summer, that I was like, this is one I'm going to keep in my bag of tricks. I just love this technique. So I'm so glad to be able to share it with you all today. And this is my last one here, and then I'll be all done with my outlines. So I've got the outlines all done. I'm going to make a mask real quick just by inking up that purse outline stamp and stamping it on a piece of all adhesive post-it note, and I will fussy cut that out and I will use that later. Okay, so here's the main reason why I chose this stamp set, because this purse, which works perfect for this technique because it's really clean and simple lines, but it also has this very solid insert for the purse outline, so you can get a lot of ink on your paper. So basically you'll have very few negative spaces or white space left over. So whatever stamp you choose to use for this technique, just choose one that has that's mainly a solid stamp with very little negative space. I just think that works a lot better because you want to have a lot of color on your paper, and I think it achieves that pop art look more. Okay, so now I'm going to stamp, after I stamped all 4 of the inserts for all my purses, I'm going to now stamp this polka dot stamp that is coordinates with that last insert stamp I just did, and this will fill in those polka dots, those negative space, so I get some more color on there. So I really will have like no white. I will have 0 white space actually when I'm done. And I'll just jump ahead to the last one here. And so when I pick my colors, I obviously want bright colors, but I also, when I pick which ones I'm going to use together, I pick ones for the most contrast. So I've got like a red, which is like a dark color, and then a yellow, which is a bit lighter, or that blue, which is a little bit darker, with something like the pink. I just try to pick combinations of colors that are going to give me the most contrast. Alright, so now I'm all done with my stamping. I'm going to move on to my ink blending. I'm going to mask off all but a section of my panel, and then I'm going to use post-it notes to kind of protect the rest of the panel. Now I'm using painter's tape to section it off. That's that blue tape. I did stick it to my clothes several times to remove some of that adhesive. Make sure you do that, otherwise that painter's tape will get stuck onto your panel. You could also use washi tape for this too. Okay, so I've got my color here. Oh, and I almost made a big boo-boo there. There's my mask. Make sure you put your mask down before you do your ink blending. So I've got that mask that I fussy cut out, and I just mounted it right on top of my stamped purse. And now I'm just going to ink blend. Now this is the nice thing about this, is you don't have to really worry about doing a really careful ink blend. For one reason, you're doing it in a small section, and the other reason it's gonna be really intense. You're gonna really get a lot of ink on your paper, so that will kind of help to smooth out any imperfections in your ink blending. So this is easy ink blending for sure. So all these techniques together, masking and ink blending, all come together to make this. They're really simple techniques, but combined together, they can create this really cool graphic card. So my ink blending is done. I'm going to remove the mask, which is like the best part. And then you see how awesome that I got lots of great contrast there. Really fun. So now I'm just going to continue to mask and then ink blend each of my remaining sections. I'll show you one more time how I mask. I'm going to do this lower left section here, and then I will ink blend that, and I'll have to get my mask on there. I almost forgot about that a couple of times, so don't forget about your mask. And I did use a little bit of those Post-it notes to help protect. Wasn't really in danger, but just to be safe, there's nothing worse than goofing something up when you're almost done with it. So I just was a little cautious and used that Post-it notes just in case I ink blended off beyond my painter's tape. Okay, so here's my next color I'm going to do. I'm going to do that Chirp Chirp, which is a green, really pretty green color. And that is pretty much it. So I'm just jumping ahead here to the very last section because I do the same process for the other two, taping and then ink blending. And now I'll do the reveal, which is so fun. I'll never get tired of pulling off a mask. It's just like embossing. I'll never get tired of that. And there you go. So there's my completed panel. Really bright and colorful, but still really clean and simple. I love it. I just think this is a technique it's a classic. I'll always be doing this, I think. And now all I have left to do is a sentiment. So I took my panel and adhered it to a 5 1/4 by 5 1/4 square card base. It's just white cardstock. And now I will stamp the sentiment. I'm going to stamp the sentiment. It's from the Purse-nality Stamp Set. I've got it already mounted in my MISTI, and I'm going to stamp it directly in the center. And it just works perfect. It really is the finishing touch. And I'll ink it up one more time here just so I have a nice, clean, crisp, bold image. And that's it. It says, "You're a fabulous person." Isn't that awesome? And that's my completed card. If you would like any more product info, please visit waffleflower.com, and you can follow us on YouTube, Instagram, and Facebook for more creative ideas. Thanks for joining me today, guys. I hope you have a wonderful day.